Welcome to the regular meeting of the Board of Trustees for the West Ada School District. It is Monday, February 9th, 2026 at 6:03 p.m. We are very fortunate this evening to have Hunter Elementary School here to lead us in the pledge. Will everyone please stand?
Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'd like to take a quick picture, so if everybody'd stay up here, and if Principal would like to come up and join, we'd love to have you. Great job. Thank you so much. Madam Clerk, are there any changes to the agenda?
Madam Chair, there are none.
All right, we'll turn the time over to Dr. Bubb.
Madam Chair, Trustees, I would like to come down here and talk just for a minute about our school resources officers. This is going to go out of order on the agenda just a tick, but I want to make sure that we recognize the people standing in the room. I'd like to take a minute to recognize their hard work of our SROs that they put into our schools every single day. Our SROs play a critical role in keeping our schools safe, but their impact goes far beyond physical security. They are trusted partners in our school communities, serving as mentors to students, collaborators with staff, and steady presence for our families navigating sensitive or challenging situations. On a daily basis, our SROs help de-escalate concerns, build relationships with support staff in our schools, and prioritize both safety and compassion. They work closely with administrators, counselors, and families to ensure that issues are addressed thoughtfully and appropriately, always with the best interests of students at the center. I consistently hear principals, staff, parents, and students talk about the positive relationships our SROs have built and the reassurance that their presence provides. They represent the very best of community partnership, protecting our schools while also helping families access support, understanding, and solutions during difficult moments. We're grateful for their professionalism, their commitment to service, and the care that they show our students every day. Our school resources officers are a valued part of the West Ada family, and we thank them for their meaningful work and all they do for our schools and in our community. This week, we recognize School Resource Officers Appreciation Day. I want to publicly thank our SROs for their professionalism, their commitment to service, and the care that they show our students every day. They're a valued part of the West Ada family, and we are grateful for everything they do. So, because I know police officers oftentimes love challenge coins, we had West Ada challenge coins made up for each of our SROs. If you guys want to come up, you're also going to get in a giant picture, but I'd like to offer you guys these. I would love everybody to get in. I am not a photographer, but maybe we can go behind.
It's either that or kick line.
All right, now that we're done with that, we just went from the safest meeting. They were not here for boundary decision, by the way. They were just here to be celebrated. I'd love to bring up Jeff Christopherson with Hunter Elementary, talk a little bit about the work they're doing. And before you go, I love the fact that our entire student council stayed, and thanks for so much you guys, all that you guys do.
They don't even know their picture's about to be on the board, too. Chairwoman Frazier, trustees, Dr. Bubb, thank you for giving me the opportunity to highlight the incredible staff and students and families here at Hunter Elementary. I'm honored to serve as their principal. We like to say Hunter Hawks don't just fly, we soar. Hunter is a special place, not because of any special or single program or initiative, but because of the people. The students, staff, and families who walk through our doors each and every day create a culture grounded in trust, high expectations, and shared responsibility. Quite simply, our secret sauce is our highly engaged community. We know it takes a village, and on any given day, you can find our hallways you can walk our hallways and find parents volunteering in classrooms, leading school-wide events, partnering with teachers to help students succeed. There we go. Academically, Hunter Elementary is focused on student growth. We know that proficiency will follow. We know that every student enters our building with unique strengths and needs, and our work centers around meeting students where they are and helping them move forward. Growth is not just something we measure, it's something that we value and talk about every day. As teachers and educators, our goal for ourselves is 1% better every day as well. We know that when we focus on growth, proficiency follows. The chart up there on the board shows on the left math growth and proficiency as measured by spring iReady, and then on the right reading, I got those backwards, reading on the left and math on the right. We're proud of the growth that we've seen so far, and we are on track to match or exceed our proficiency from last year. Equally important is how we inspire students beyond academics. This year, we proudly launched a new student council, giving students a voice in our school. These students are learning what it means to lead with responsibility, empathy, and purpose, skills that will serve them far beyond elementary school. Our student council members can be found setting high five records as they greet students in the morning, anchoring our video announcements that go out weekly, and leading service projects around school. One of the most meaningful moments was right before winter break when we got the opportunity to meet with Dr. Bubb and discuss leadership, something he loves to talk about. That experience made leadership real for them. They asked thoughtful questions, shared ideas, and saw firsthand that their voices matter. It sent a powerful message. Leadership is not just about age or a title. It's about service, listening, and making a positive impact. Our sense of community extends well beyond the classroom. Hunter Elementary is deeply supported by families who are invested, engaged, and proud of our school. In our most recent parent experience survey, over 94% of parents responded agree or strongly agree to the statement, "I am proud to say I have a child at this school." Pride like that doesn't happen by accident. It's built through relationships, communication, and a shared commitment to doing what's best for kids. Our staff plays a critical role in making this possible. Hunter teachers and support staff are deeply dedicated professionals who care deeply about students as individuals. They welcome families as partners, open their classrooms to collaboration, and consistently go above and beyond to support learning and the well-being of others. The strong culture you see at Hunter is a result of their daily work and their belief in every single child. I'm incredibly proud of the students, grateful for our families, and honored to work alongside such a dedicated staff. So thank you for the opportunity to brag about the great things happening at Hunter and our special community. So thank you so much, and thank you, Student Council.
I just want to thank you so much. Both of my kids went through Hunter. And it was a great experience, a great school, a great community. We have great schools all over West Ada, but I'm always going to be partial to those that I've had a little bit of an intimate relationship with, for sure. But thank you so much. I love the student council. This is fantastic. I know a couple of you, so it's fun to see you. And we definitely want to take a picture with you, sir, and anyone you'd like to invite to come up and take that with you.
Sure. Do we need another photo? I'd like to give a shout out to Mr. David Lorenzo. Mr. David Lorenzo is a fifth grade teacher. He's been there a very long time, and he is really the brains behind our student council. So.
Next up, we have the Meridian High School to talk a little bit about some of the work they're done. I know Mr. Bloxham's here, and Mr. Murphy's here as well.
All right, you guys ready? Good evening, Dr. Bob and Chair Frazier and Board of Trustees and other guests here in the room. I'm pleased to present Meridian High School's Winter Board Report. At Meridian High School, we're built on 4 foundational pillars. First, culture and climate. The Warrior Way defines us at Meridian. We are enhancing our environment where students feel safe, supported, and engaged in school and in their learning. Second, instruction. Through ongoing and high-quality professional development, our teachers are delivering excellence, driving real results in student engagement, learning, and achievement. Third, safety and behavior. We maintain high expectations while providing the behavior and social and emotional support that students need to be successful in school. And fourth, community. From our student council to family and local partnerships, we're strengthening connections across the entire Meridian family. Through all of this, I'm proud to share just a couple of our measurable results. You can advance this slide. One more. Perfect. We have our highest attendance in 4 years at Meridian High School with 91.3%. We're very, very proud of that. And 71% of our students are at 90% or higher. That gives us goals to attain for, but it's a strong foundation to start from. Go ahead and advance the next one, Ken. With behavior, we've done a lot of work. This is behavior from the first semester. For behavior and discipline, we saw a 50% reduction in behavior incidents this first semester compared to last year's first semester. And 78% of our students have had at least one positive recognition by an adult. Our goal is 100. And that was a goal area for us last year, based on attendance, discipline, and behavior, and our feedback from the parent satisfaction surveys. We're very proud with each of those numbers. I want to thank you, the board, and Dr. Bubb for your continued support in all facets. Now I will turn it over to Mr. Bloxam and our incredible student council students, where they have some additional data to share with you. Thank you.
As you guys know, my style isn't to come up and preach to you guys, so I'm gonna let the kids take over, but they are well prepared, it looks like, so.
Okay. Hello. Okay, I'm Alec Atherton. I'm Meridian's ASB co-president.
I'm Taya Ramirez. I'm the other ASB co-president.
I'm Kylie Bardwell. I'm our ASB Vice President.
And today we wanted to start off by talking about our Stinky Sneaker event, which we just held on January 20th. After months of hard work and preparation from our student council members, just the 40 of us doing all that work is really a lot, but it really paid off, and we had a great time, and we had so much fun. And I know I saw a few of you guys there, and it was fun. If you guys don't know, Meridian did win the shoe, which is fun, but it's more, it is about a lot more than just that. It's about the fact that we got to gather our community in that one place and bring the schools together between Meridian and Mountain View and get to celebrate and honor Randy Fow as a teacher and what he did. It was also our first time having the girls play in the game, which was really fun to see. It was exciting. It was kind of testing the waters of moving from JV boys to the girls, but they did really good, and it was really fun to watch. And then next week we're having a Warrior Wednesday celebration where we're going to have the shoe there and everybody can take their photos and just reminisce in our Stinky Sneaker win.
Yes, and then going off of sports, our boys basketball team is actually doing really great this season with a record of 6-3. We can't wait to see how far we go, hopefully to state. And we just had a lot of good participation, like in our student sections, especially building off of Stinky Sneaker. I think that set a really good foundation. And then for girls basketball, we actually had the best season that we've had in many years. For example, last year we only had 3 wins, but this year we had 9. And then one of our star varsity players, Kiet Martinez, just hit over 1,000 points scored. And then on top of that, boys and girls wrestling is going really strong so far this season. We're on the road to state, and we can't wait to see how they do as well.
Some other sports and clubs going on for the spring is cheer is headed to state for their sideline cheering, and then also nationals in Vegas in a couple weeks, which is really exciting. And then choir is headed to California for their competition. Drama is practicing for their spring performance of Guys and Dolls, which will be in April. And then our club, FCCLA, or CTSO, for districts, they had over 20 competitors with like half of them reaching gold, and they're headed to state in a couple weeks.
Yes, and then we would also like to touch on the fact that going into this year, we have a almost completely new admin team, which going into the year, it was kind of intimidating as we're going to be working with them a lot, and it wasn't really people that we had met yet or built our community with. But I think that it has gone the best way it possibly could have. They've been so amazing to work with, and we can really see their dedication to our school and their spirit for Meridian and how they want to be involved with the students and the student body. Like, they're around and you know them and you see their faces, and they're building those relationships, and just the passion for their jobs is noticed and appreciated. So that couldn't have gone better.
Something we really value and try to focus on in our student council, I feel like, is volunteering and volunteering opportunities that we get. So right now, we're currently working on building a relationship with the local veterans home and just kind of hosting things for them and trying to get involved and build that relationship with them as well. And then we also have a lot of spring events coming up, which we're working on planning. We're also having younger student council kids kind of plan and run those events just to prepare them and get them ready for that next year.
Kind of going off that, our leadership style is we really just want the youngers to not just watch but be involved and try themselves, and we kind of just help them out if they need any like tricks or anything. But they're planning prom right now, which is really exciting. It's going to be our senior prom. We also just finished planning our spring assembly, and as it's our senior, like our last assembly, it's really incorporating of all the students and just a kind of last hoorah. It's going to be super fun. And then something we're bringing back a couple of years ago, I think it's 2018 is the last time we did it, but we're bringing back Records Week. So it's almost like the Guinness World Records, but it's just some silly things that everyone can participate in, like freshmen, everything. Like how far can you spit a seed, or how far can you run with your shoelace tied, or something like that. And we're really excited for that. It's going to be an end-of-year project just to to have the year off and make it fun. And then we're also doing a second blood drive in a couple months. The first one was really successful, and we love working with the Red Cross Association, and we're excited to do a second one this year. And then we also have a bunch of spring just fun events like Buff Puff, which is where our volleyball team teaches boys volleyball, and it's a little tournament. And all of this stuff is just really brings our school together in all age groups. And then throughout our student council, ensuring the underclassmen are prepared for next year, we have everyone do a write-up. So if you're the head of committee, you write all the tips and tricks and everything you learned from doing the event this year. So next year they don't have to learn it, but they could grow it and make it better each year.
Yeah, and then another thing that we are planning on bringing back next year, we've kind of started the steps, and I can't wait to see what our student council can do with it next year while we're not there, but we're starting to rebuild the clubs that are meant to support and engage students, and especially incoming freshmen. So it's our things like Blue Crew, which is like our hype squad, and they go to the games, and we kind of want to turn that into more of a mentorship program, and kind of like Link Crew, where it's like we're going to build those relationships between underclassmen and upperclassmen and just unite the school so we can get more participation at whether it's sporting events or even the choir, band, or drama, whatever the performance is or the activity. It's just that way they feel comfortable and like they have people there. Because then like it can be very intimidating for incoming freshmen, especially when you don't really know anybody there, and it's just exciting.
Yes, and then here at Meridian, we love to show our appreciation for whoever. So last week we actually had our Counselor Appreciation Week, and we hung up posters around the school. We got all of their coffee orders and brought that to them on Friday, and just did anything we could to really show our appreciation for them because they do so much in and outside of our school. And then speaking on that, we also have an SRO Appreciation Day coming up, and we're planning on doing a lot of similar things like that to show our appreciation for them as well.
We also love showing appreciation to the students and staff at our school. So we have a Student of the Month every month, an Employee of the Month every month, either a custodian, a teacher, just who's really outshine the Meridian Pride, and then Blue Collar Athletes every month, a female and a male. And then my favorite is a trusted adult, a Meridian High School trusted adult that our Sources of Strength kind of takes over, and they campaign, and we give a little certificate to the teacher or an adult who really is a trusted adult in our school, and we could go to with any questions, problems, concerns.
Yeah. And then just to kind of wrap up everything we've talked about today, at the beginning of the year, at the first speech I did in the fall, I kind of told you guys about how this year our goal was to incorporate Warrior Kind within Warrior Strong, which those are kind of our two slogans. So we could incorporate the kindness and help, you know, because a big theme in this year has been building our community. And we thought that kindness was obviously the best way to do that. So that was the beginning.
Yeah, and then me personally, I've noticed just a completely different feeling at school. Like, I feel like a lot of people are more participatory. Like, everyone just feels more spirited and happy to be there, which I feel like is a result of that. So in doing so, we've seen growth in both our community and engagement as a whole.
Yeah. Just to kind of help highlight that, starting out, or this school year so far, there's been a 96% rate of students that are college and career ready for their futures, which is, I would say, a pretty good gap.
And going off of that, our 4-year graduation rate has raised 2% to 94.9%. We take great pride in that. Those really go together, the college career readiness and the graduation rate. I know we are all part of college and AP classes, and we couldn't thank our teachers more for preparing us. And with that, we cannot wait to see what our student council will do next year and the growth and our school in general. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much. We want to get a picture with you, so don't go too far.
I think Mr. Bloxham did a good job.
That was great. Thank you.
I will say, just so everybody can hear it, student council at Meridian High School has changed drastically over the years, and that's really under your leadership. So know that. I am certainly excited to have one more highlight. Meridian Academy is going to come up and talk about their upcoming science fair and some of the great things going on over there.
Madam Chair, Dr. Bub, Board of Trustees, I want to say thank you for having us here. My name is Gonzalo. I'm here with my classmates Braden and Aaron, and we're going to talk about our upcoming STEM night. Now, our biggest goal with STEM night is to help build our school community. Since Meridian Academy doesn't have any sports or extracurricular activities, this is a great way to get families involved and help build student pride. A few other goals are to inspire curiosity and encourage students to see themselves as scientists and develop leadership and event planning skills, which for this, it's entirely student-led. All of the planning, all the activities is run entirely by the students. I myself helped to arrange for us to be able to speak at this meeting. Last year was our first STEM night at Meridian Academy, and it was a huge success. We had 60 plus people show up. We had a ton of positive feedback, and again, it was led entirely by the students. If you look at this picture here, that was just one demonstration, and the room was packed. And here are a few other pictures. We did a few fun activities like making slime or edible cookie dough.
The STEM night will be taking place at, of course, Meridian Academy High School on March 10th during the times of 5:30 p.m. to 7 o'clock p.m. And during that time, we'll have many interesting activities and demonstrations, such as a color identification reflexes test, a hand wash test, and fake snow, with demonstrations like colored fire, liquid nitrogen ice cream, and elephant toothpaste. And we have my activity, a left and right-handedness test in the form of a simple game of wall ball. It has a lot of simple steps. You'll start by standing on the marker on the floor, and then when you're ready, you'll start the 1-minute timer and throw tennis balls at the trash can lid taped to the wall. I'll mark down each time a tennis ball hits the trash can lid, and then once the minute is over, you repeat with your left hand.
I'm Brain. I'm a sophomore from Meridian Academy, and I'm here to talk about my activity at STEM Night. So me and a partner a while ago did an experiment to see if the different amount of drone blades can affect a drone's speed. So at STEM Night, we're going to have a participant drive the drone across an obstacle course to see if you can really tell the difference between this. And this will be a family-friendly event. Food and drink will be provided, and we would hope to see you there. And thanks for having us.
That was fantastic. Before you take off, we want to take a picture with you too. And we also want to thank you so much for coming. I don't know if you noticed, but all of us were frantically writing down times and dates, and I guarantee we're all planning on being there. So please come forward so we can take a picture.
Jeffrey, I just said it, but we'd be remiss if we didn't mention the work that you do with our students. And so thank you so much for leading this and making science a passion in our students just as much as it is in you. Appreciate you.
We did not have anyone sign up this evening for patron input, but I just always like to remind everyone that if that's something that you or someone you know chooses to do, this portion of the meeting is restricted to those things that are agendized. It's 2 minutes that you receive, and we like to keep everything to kind of that high-level policy procedure, never to individual student or employee. And like I said, we had no one sign up this evening, so we'll move on to consent agenda. Do I have a motion? Trustee Benetti.
I move that we accept the consent agenda unanimously.
Do I have a second? Trustee McCall?
I'll second it.
All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. With that, we will move to old business. Tonight, that brings up the Planning Committee's boundary proposal, which will be presented to us by Dr. Dave Reinhardt.
Madam Chair, trustees, Dr. Bubb, as you know, the work of redrawing boundaries within our district is important work. You ask us to make efficient use of our schools. You also ask us to make sure that our students are set up for success by being in schools with people that challenge and help them grow. We've taken this work very seriously, and we have taken it in such a way that we believe that when we involve the community and when we involve committed members of the community, again, some of which are here this evening, if you will stand up, if you've been a part of that process. When we involve committed community members like this, our process and our outcomes are better. They push and pull and help us draw boundaries that we think achieve the intended outcome. We will continue to work. This work will not end. This is not the last time you will see myself and Miranda together, nor the community members that have joined us, because our district continues to change and grow and develop in different ways in different areas. But with that, I would like to introduce Miranda Carson, who leads this effort directly, and so that she may present our gold proposal, our final proposal for you to consider for adoption this evening.
Hello, Madam Chair, members of the board. Thank you for allowing us to come again before you to present this final proposal. Sorry, let me find the clicker here. So we are going to cover, again, just reviewing the need in the district, as Dave said, of where, Dr. Reinhardt said, of where we're growing, and look at the board priorities that you've set before us to how we ordered our work and how we ordered the importance of the different impact that we will make. I will say, as I was looking at this proposal and the numbers of students impacted by the proposal, I was shocked by the amount that the committee was able to make this massive impact on the district and how we grow while making a very minor impact on actual students, actual current students. So I'm really excited with this gold proposal, and then we'll talk about some of the next steps, and I'll answer any of your questions. Of course, if you have any questions throughout, feel free to interrupt me. So again, understanding the need, the main need right now is that we have a new elementary school opening, and so we do need to fill it with students. So we'll open that elementary school, and that was the catalyst for this initial 26-27 boundary changes. As Dr. Reinhardt said, there is still need, and we are continuing the process with the committee, but this is the 26-27 catalyst. The elementary enrollment projections, if we don't do anything, is of course the other catalyst. This is why we needed the Independence Elementary, is that we've got some schools over and some schools under. So to orient you there, the purple are schools that will be under capacity. by 70% or less, and then the red are schools that are over capacity. At the elementary school level, we really don't want to see schools over capacity even by a few students. Some of our campuses can handle that, but for the most part, we want to keep them right at or under capacity. And then once we see schools drop below that 70%, we're seeing things like heating classroom spaces that don't have kids in them, or we're not using our fiscal resources wisely across the district. If we can better utilize those spaces, then we can be more responsible and give students a better outcome when it comes to like class clubs and things like that. If we have a larger student body, then we have more opportunities like that. When it comes to the secondary, we look more at our capacity is a lot more flexible. So you've heard me talk before about secondary capacity, and it is more flexible because West Ada personalizes education to such an extreme that we're able to move students around on campus and throughout the valley. So because we're busing kids across the valley all throughout the day, and kids are able to attend different schools for different classes, we're able to use our spaces a lot more flexibly, and then also just give kids that more personalized education. So at the secondary level, we can really see schools get up to 105% of their building capacity and still be very comfortable. It's when we start seeing that 108, 110 percent that we really need to start looking at what changes and shifts we can make, either through programming or through boundary changes. We also look at the feeder patterns. And what that is really keeping peer groups together so that we're not sending middle school students off with just one or two of their friends. We really want to send them off ideally with 30 to 50% of their peers, so that an 8th grade class of 100, you'd have 50 to 30 of those going off to one middle school, and then 50 to 70 to the other, rather than if you have 100 middle school students and 10 of those go off to one high school and 90 of them go off to another, the chances that those 10 kids that went off together have developed a deep relationship is lower, and we want to keep those peer groups together for better emotional and social well-being, and also so that we can see some better academic outcomes. So the board did some work for us a few years ago with defining these board priorities, and it really did make the work easier on minimizing the impact of students. So, of course, West Ada's top priority is always safety. That comes first before everything else. After that, we look at how we can make an impact on balancing those capacities while minimizing the number of students moved. We do look at the feeder schools, sending kids off with their peer groups, and then we start looking at things like keeping the non-bus zones intact. We try really hard not to move any student more than once. We really don't want to disrupt their education in that way. And then we look at the current and future enrollment. So this project has been really in play for probably well over a year ago, when Independence was in its inception. That's when this process really begins. But the work with the committee began in October. So we began reviewing enrollment and development as a committee, and then we've had 3 town hall meetings. Our board policy says that we will have 3 public hearings, and as I stand before you, this is the 6th public hearing in this process. So we had 3 town hall meetings. We also had an online meeting, an ongoing online community hub where patrons could go on and see the changes as we presented them to you. They were also presented to the public in that. There's videos of board meetings on that page. There's videos explaining the changes for anyone that couldn't attend the town hall meetings. We had surveys that were embedded in that page so parents could get all the information in one place and interact with the information in one place. So that process came through, and as we received that feedback from patrons through that site and calls and emails, the committee continued to refine. And that's when we brought forward, from the blue proposal to the gray proposal. And now we're here with that gold proposal. So the gold proposal is largely the same as the gray proposal as far as geographically. There are some minor changes that we'll talk about. One of the larger changes is the grandfathering. So in the gray proposal, if you'll remember, we talked about grandfathering last grades, the 5th, 8th, and 12th grade students for next year into their current schools. We went back and looked both on board recommendation and on feedback that we got from patrons that there was a lot of appetite to grandfather in 10th and 11th graders as well. So we went back and looked at Oahe and Eagle and whether Oahe could sustain keeping those current 10th and the students that will be 10th and 11th next year at their campus if they choose to stay. And there wasn't an issue with capacity at Oahe that would prohibit us from allowing those kids to stay. So this was a unique opportunity. We don't often at a high school boundary change have the opportunity to grandfather in so many grades. Oftentimes we really have to pare it down to just the last grade. But we were really excited as a committee in this process that there is room at Oahe for those students and we are able to extend that to them. So again, the grandfathering will not include transportation. So families will need to self-transport if they choose to make that stay at their school, but they'll have the option to stay there at their current schools if they choose. I should also note, because it came up, that when they stay, they're not transfer students, so they can still play with their sports. That came up during our committee discussion as well. At the elementary level, the chains you see there at the bottom, the strikeout from Chaparral to Ponderosa, we really wanted to do some work for Chaparral this year and get their enrollment down from their capacity. But as we worked through where things would move, we looked at a couple of different areas and we heard from a lot of parents that there are a lot of students walking into Chaparral, and going out and watching that we saw that was really happening. We have a lot of kids walking into Chaparral, and we know that for a community as a whole, it's really great for kids to be walking to school. We're reducing traffic, we've got kids more active, it's better for student outcomes if they walk to school. Academically, and so we didn't want to discourage that, and so we looked at where else we could maybe make some relief at Chaparral, and we moved another area in the gray proposal, but it really wasn't a big impact. There were 7 students currently living there. We didn't have a lot of there was no future development already entitled in that area, and so when we heard from parents that this large area didn't make sense for those reasons, that it doesn't make enough of an impact to really make a difference. Why are you moving us? We went back and looked at it as a committee, and we agreed. That area doesn't make enough of an impact. There's no sense. We're trying to minimize the number of students impacted, and so if we don't have to move those 7 kids, then we're not going to. So we went ahead and put that area back to Chaparral. They will be right at capacity next year. But we are confident that it will still be an educational environment that kids can learn in. We have elementary schools that go right up to capacity now, and the kids still have great outcomes. And we know that we will work towards relieving them when we make some changes in the south. Other than that, the elementary proposal remained the same, with Independence opening between 5:30 and 5:50, and we're bringing that Star Elementary and Pleasant View Elementary down considerably as well. I was excited to see Hunter here tonight because we are sending a lot of students to Hunter, and it's been such a great school. I even heard from a few parents that said we were worried about going to the schools, but it wasn't a Hunter parent, but there was a parent that was moving, and they called and said we were worried about going to that school. And I replied to the survey and said I didn't want to go, but then we called the school and they let us come tour it, and now I want to go there. Like, I want our kids there. So our principals have been so amazing in this process of opening their campuses within the bounds of safety, opening their campuses to prospective parents that want to come in and tour, and seeing that the West Ada Way extends across all of our elementary campuses. So this is the changes to the numbers. You will see again, Chaparral is proposed to be over still for that, but we have spoken to Chaparral and we know that we have changes coming for when the South gets updated. Hopefully 27, 28 we'll be able to get some relief there at Chaparral. And beyond that, we know Hunter will go slightly over. Hunter has been over in the past and was still able to offer a good educational environment. We've spoken to the principal and he's prepared for that. And we know that as the area that sits in Hunter now continues to age out, it will reduce back down to more measurable, or I'm sorry, a more closer to enrollment versus capacity, closer to 100%. One thing that I'm really excited about in this is the feeder patterns. So you've heard me talk about them quite a few times now, but I am really excited to see that we have some 100% feeder patterns set up here. When we have feeder patterns like that set up, we can really see the Eagle Middle School students going and standing in the hallway at Eagle Hills and Eagle Elementary and giving those kids the high five and saying, you're going to come be, at our school next year for the 6th grade or the 5th graders. And it's really great to see that natural progression where all the kids can move together. All these kids that they've been in kindergarten together all the way through are now going off to middle school together, and we really want to preserve those peer groups as much as possible. So I was really excited with the boundary changes that we did in middle school, that we got quite a few schools, as you can see up there, to 100%. The one exception that's up there is Ponderosa to Star Middle, and 84% to Meridian Middle. We do expect that to continue to grow as one of the there's 2 square miles in that proposal for Ponderosa that will continue to grow. There's a lot of land there that is future land use for residential, and so that percentage will continue to go up. And then there was some minor adjustments where things just needed to be cleaned up for Eagle and Lowell Scott Middle School, and there weren't even any students there. It was just one road that we needed to adjust. At the high school level, again, this was for the feeder pattern. We moved a couple of square miles there from Oahe to Eagle, and that's to keep the Star Middle School students feeding at a decent percentage. So like I said, we try really hard not to dip below that 30. Really, if we can be at a third, that's about as low as I'm comfortable with. And so this gets us to 37% of the Star Middle School students going off to Eagle High School together, and 63% going to Oahe. And we all know that Star is booming. And so that 37% will continue to grow, and we see that equalizing out more to 50% as more students come in from the north. So the next steps, if the proposal is approved tonight, is we'll continue to notify families. We have notified every school with each iteration, and like I said, we have that open page online that we've kept all the information up on, but we'll notify the families directly that were impacted, and then we'll make sure we flag any of the grandfathered students, work with our Power School team, communicate with the schools, continue communicating with the schools, and also coordinate any changes across departments so that we can make sure that this is a change that goes smoothly from curriculum through operations and at the building level, that everybody knows what's coming and is prepared, and that we've ironed through any details we need to during the summer so kids can come back to a great educational environment in August regardless of what school name is on the door. And at this time, I'll have you stand for any questions.
Thank you so much. Any comments or questions? Trustee Benetti?
I just am so impressed. Really appreciate all the effort that went into it. That's plain, it's clear to everyone. So thank you, Dr. Reinhardt. Thank you, Ms. Carson. And a particular thanks again to all of our boundary committee members. You know, this, as we've said in the past, we have lots of volunteers that participate in all kinds of activities throughout our district, and we appreciate that. Boundary committee in particular does such a central role, and it's not exactly Like, you know, you get to go do finger painting with your kids or go watch and do the concessions at the football game and watch the kids play. It's very important work. It's very detailed work. It has the potential to make a lot of people very unhappy. But I think it is reflective of the effort that was put in both at the administration level as well as with the volunteers on the committee, that was largely avoided. That the feedback was taken, the communication plan was excellent. The fact that we doubled the amount of public input is not surprising. Gave lots of people the opportunity to make this as good as it can be. And I have a high degree of confidence that that is exactly what we've wound up with. Like, these things are not ever ideal because, you know, you are impacting students at the end of the day. But I can say that I have the highest degree of confidence that we've done the absolute best, and can't thank you enough for all the effort that was put in, and particularly the committee members. Thank you again for coming, even again tonight. It's sort of like half a dozen times that we've seen you, and that doesn't include the homework that you've all done, which I know that has been substantial. So anyway, it's just a word of thanks.
Vice Chair Zip.
I agree with Trustee Benetti. The process that you all have done has been incredible. I heard you say something different tonight too that I want to mention. I heard you talk about that you heard students were walking to Chaparral. So you went out and you actually watched and saw the kids walking to Chaparral. And I just think it's those extra steps that you're all taking on. You're hearing the feedback and you're confirming the feedback, and then, you know, making plans around that, and just that extra effort means so much to the community members and the, you know, the parents of the kids that we serve. So thank you.
No, and I guess I want to take a minute, I mean, ditto to everything that was just said, but also to say to the parents out there, I talked to quite a few that took that initiative and called up Hunter. I mean, Pleasant View parents that lived in that area, I respect it. That they felt like, hey, we moved into this neighborhood and we wanted to go to that school, and they went over and they met with Hunter and they toured the school and found that there was great opportunities there as well. And I really do respect a community that is trying to work together and recognizes kids everywhere need to have those opportunities to be taught in an environment that isn't 50-plus kids in a classroom, right? I mean, that's really what drives this. So really, a shout out to the parents for the hard work they've done to be part of the community. I mean, West Ada is a community. It's all of us working together, and I think this really does show that when that all happens, things go very smoothly and work well. So thank you. Any other comments or questions? All right, seeing none, I'm open to a motion. Trustee Benetti.
I move that the Board of Trustees approve the Planning Committee's boundary gold proposal as presented.
Is there a second? Trustee McCullough.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. That will take us to policy 604.10, artificial intelligence. This is a second reading and will be presented by Rhonda McDonough.
Good evening, Chair Frazier, trustees, Dr. Bubb. I'm pleased to be here to present the second reading of the artificial intelligence policy 60410. There are no changes to the policy. If you'd like me to read it out loud, I'm happy to do that. Otherwise, it's kind of short and sweet. The ARs, we have made a couple of minor adjustments to them based on some feedback received, just to provide a tiny bit more clarity to the language. If you'd like me to point those out, I'll just point those out quickly. So if you go to number 2 of ethical use on the second page of the ARs, we have added the intentional misuse of AI tools. We think that that is worth noting. And then also just down a bit when speaking to the transparency of it, the second bullet was when using generative AI applications, all content must be reviewed and edited, and we added by the user. So those might seem like small details, but we always want our teachers, we want our parents to feel like that the parts of the AR truly communicate what we're trying to do, and we do believe that this is always a teaching opportunity. We always want to make sure that we are being proactive in our approach with it. I did want to just speak quickly. Trustee Azuna asked a question last week, and I thought it was worth kind of maybe talking to just very briefly in talking with some teachers and especially our our instructional technology department about the impact the use of AI might have on our teachers and the workload potentially or their approach to things. And I think the resounding message was similar to what I had to say, but more around the intentional planning, the importance of training, also the importance of activities rooted in and designed for the learning that they want to achieve. And so while I don't think it is a huge shift, I think in terms of workload, I do think it's one more opportunity for our teachers to do what they do best, which is to make sure that learning is always in the forefront. So I am happy to stand for questions.
Any comments or questions? Fabulous, thank you so much.
Great. See you next time.
All right, with that, I'm open to a motion on executive session. Trustee Benetti.
I move that we enter executive session per Idaho Code 74-206 sub 1 sub F to communicate with legal counsel for the public agency to discuss the legal ramifications of and legal options for pending litigation, controversies not yet litigated but imminently likely to be litigated. The mere presence of legal counsel in an executive session does not satisfy this requirement.
Do I have a second? Trustee McCullough?
I second it.
This is a roll call vote. Trustee Brown, yea or nay?
Yay.
Trustee Benetti?
Aye.
Trustee McCullough?
Yay.
Vice Chair Zuna?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion carries 5-0. We will enter executive session at 6:57 p.m. We'll resume regular session at 7:12 PM. Is there anything for good of the order tonight? Trustee Benetti.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For the good of the order, I just wanted to say quickly how pleased I was to see one of the Academy representatives here, and the Academy represented during reports and spotlights. And I love that they took the initiative to make that happen, and I would just encourage the other academies to come because I'd love to hear from them as well.
Thank you. I think that's great. Also, we didn't have anybody sign up for other good of the order comment tonight, which would just be open to anything that someone would like to speak to. But just like the regulations or rules, I should say, for speaking in public comment, that needs to be limited to 2 minutes. It needs to be high-level policy procedure and not ever to an individual employee or student. I'm open to any future agenda items. Okay, I have one. I am wondering how you all would feel about having the middle schools come and present at our board meetings like we do with the elementaries and the high schools.
Second.
You have a second? All right, great. We'll do it. All right, with that, I'm open to a motion to adjourn. Anyone? Trustee Brown.
Go to the over.
I move that the Board of Trustees adjourn the regular board meeting of February 9th, 2026.
Is there a second? Trustee McCullough?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. We will adjourn at 7:13 PM.